This video contains basic assembly instructions for the Sondors THIN electric bike. If you are not familiar with assembling bicycles, then it is strongly recommended that you take your Sondors THIN electric bike to a local bike shop for assembly assistance. First, unbox your bike, tools, and included components. Box 1 includes the tools and components shown here. Box 2 includes your battery and battery lock keys. Included with your bike is a set of 5 Allen wrenches, a stamped steel multi-wrench tool, and a T25 Torx wrench. A Phillips screwdriver is required for assembly, but not included with the bike. Optional tools include heavy-duty wire cutters or pliers, 15 and 18 millimeter open-end wrenches, and a surge protector. We suggest that you start the initial charge as the first step so the battery can be charging while the bike is being assembled. First, position the battery rocker to the off position. Then open the charging port cap and insert the battery charging cable into the port. Plug the charger into a standard grounded household outlet or surge protector. When the charging unit is correctly connected, the LED will show green briefly, then switch to red while the battery charge cycle is underway. When the battery is fully charged, the LED will change from red back to green. When the battery is fully charged, disconnect the charger from the wall socket first, then remove the charging cable from the battery, and close the charging port cap. To charge on the bike, first position the battery rocker switch in the off position. Then open the battery compartment, unscrew and disconnect the metal socket from the battery. Then cover the battery discharge port with the rubber cap. Open the charging port cap and insert the battery charging cable into the port. Plug the charger unit into a standard grounded household outlet or surge protector. When the battery is fully charged, first disconnect the charger from the wall socket and then remove the charging cable from the battery. Reconnect the bike controller power cable. First, loosen the two 4mm pinch bolts and 5mm cap bolt. Then, rotate the stem so it's aligned with the fork as shown. Retighten the 5mm cap bolt and two 4mm pinch bolts. Repeat this procedure after the wheel and handlebars are installed to ensure proper alignment. Finally, rotate both the stem and fork into the forward position. Remove the four 4mm bolts and faceplate. Rotate the handlebar assembly up into the stem. Be careful not to twist or kink the cables attached to the brake levers and throttle. Replace the faceplate and lightly tighten the four 4mm bolts. Double check that the handlebar is centered in the stem and the bar is rotated into a position that will be ideal for your riding comfort. Then, finish tightening down the faceplate bolts. Loosen the 5mm bolt on the bottom of the brake levers, rotate into the desired position, and retighten. To adjust the throttle, loosen the 2.5mm set screw, rotate the unit into the preferred position, and retighten. Be careful not to over-tighten, as it can inhibit the throttle operation. Make sure the throttle operates freely and doesn't bind on the grip. Loosen the 3mm bolts on the grip locks, rotate the grips into your preferred position, and retighten. Lastly, insert the rubber cap onto the 5mm stem cap bolt. Loosen the cable clamp on the caliper arm using the 5mm Allen wrench. Pull the brake cable up about 1.5 inches to provide slack to install the cable in the brake lever. Rotate the black ferrules to align their slots with the slot on the brake's forward edge. Pull the brake lever in and swing the cable end basket out. Place the cable in the basket and move the cable through the forward edge slot. Tighten the black ferrules down to secure the cable, being certain that their slots no longer align with the brake lever slot. Arrange the cables and secure them using the 3 black plastic clips that were attached to the bike cables during shipping. Remove the plastic foot from the axle dropouts in the front fork. Then, loosen the right and left side axle nuts until they are slightly beyond the outside ends of the axle. Then pull the fishtailed washers up to the inside surface of the axle nuts. Making sure the brake disc is on the left side of the wheel, the same side as the caliper, carefully place the axle in the front fork dropouts. The kickstand can now be lowered to stabilize the bike. On both the left and right sides, insert the tail of the washers into the hole above the axle dropout slot on the fork. Then, with the washers in the locked position, hand rotate both nuts clockwise until they contact the fork sides. Make sure your wheel is centered relative to the fork. Then tighten the axle nuts using the 15mm end of the stamped tool or a 15mm wrench. After tightening, check again to make sure your wheel is still centered in the forks. Use the 5mm Allen key to loosen the clamp bolt on the brake caliper arm. Then, remove the slack from the cable by pulling the inner cable into the brake caliper arm. Place the metal end caps of the cable into the receivers of the lever and the brake unit. Rotate the caliper arm up about 1/2 inch and hold the cable tightly below the caliper arm while tightening the 5mm bolt. To align the caliper on the rotor, loosen the rear-facing upper and lower caliper attachment bolts using the 5mm Allen key. When loosened, the brake caliper unit can move left to right over the disc rotor. Pull the brake lever to align the loosened brake unit over the disc rotor. With the brake lever still pulled, tighten both 5mm caliper attachment bolts on the brake caliper mount. Check for brake alignment and readjust the brake cable in the caliper arm if needed. The front brake cable can be trimmed with heavy wire cutters, and the aluminum ferrule can be crimped on the end of the cable. This bike includes a right and left pedal. They are marked with an R and L on the end of the threaded post. The pedal orientation refers to the rider's left and right as you sit on the bike. Starting with the left pedal, slowly rotate the threaded post onto the left side crank counterclockwise. It should turn easily into the crank by hand when aligned correctly. Tighten the pedal with a 15mm open-ended wrench or the included multi-tool. For the right side pedal, slowly rotate the threaded post onto the right side crank clockwise. It should turn easily into the crank by hand when aligned correctly. Then, tighten the pedal with a 15mm open-ended wrench or the included multi-tool. The wheel reflectors have a vertical spoke slot through the side where the clip attaches. Position the reflector in the wheel and align the spoke in the reflector slot. Carefully push the clear connector button into the hole. Then, Slowly slide the reflector upwards until it fits snug between the opposite spokes. Slide the white reflector into the handlebar mount until it clicks into place. Repeat this process with the red reflector and seat post mount. Spread the assembled white reflector and slip it over the handlebar. Insert the included black Phillips screw and tighten. Slide the red reflector assembly up the seat post and insert the included black Phillips screw and tighten when positioned in the desired location. Open the quick release seat tube clamp and insert the seat post. Close the quick release and finger tighten the knurled nut. Then open the lever and tighten the knurled nut about another 180 degrees. The lever should now be somewhat difficult to close when the clamp pressure is correct. Adjust the seat height and alignment as needed. Prior to installing, ensure the battery rocker power switch is in the off position. Open the battery compartment. Note the two slots in the bottom edge of the battery and their corresponding rails on the battery mount. Remove the rubber cap from the metal discharge port on the side of the battery and insert the battery key. While holding the frame, rotate the key 1/4 turn counterclockwise and firmly push the battery until the lock clicks into place. Then remove and secure the battery key. The controller connection socket has a slot that is keyed to fit the battery discharge port. When aligned properly, it will fit easily into the port. Once inserted, slide the metal knurled collar towards the battery and rotate clockwise to secure the socket. Close the battery compartment door and secure with the threaded toggle. First, remove the rubber cap on the lower right side of the bike's battery compartment to access the power switch. Put the power switch on the on position and replace the cap. To power on the bike, press the gray button on the throttle. The LEDs on the throttle will light up when powered on. The number of LEDs will vary depending on the battery charge level and the draw being applied to the system. To power off the bike, press the gray button on the throttle again and the LEDs will turn off when the bike is powered off. Then remove the rubber cap, push the power switch to the off position, and replace the cap. Anytime the bike or battery is not being used, it is recommended the battery be in the off position. Congratulations on your Sondors THIN, and thanks for your support. Please visit GoSondors.com for additional information.